Invisalign is a fantastic way to straighten teeth, but let's be honest, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
What is that over there?
What the frick are you doing, dog?
Problem number 3, taking them out in public, aka Slobber City. Here's an awkward one. You're at a fancy dinner or a work event, and suddenly you're wrestling with your trays, strings of saliva everywhere. Not ideal.
It's gross.
What I've done to avoid an embarrassing situation is to bring a nifty case with you and pop those aligners out, place them in a case, and leave it in your purse or car for the duration of the date. Don't take them out at the table. Having them out for a date should not be a problem if you're diligent wearing them throughout the day. But here's something most people don't know. Your tooth starts moving an hour after you apply pressure to it, with even more movement after 6 hours. But if that is constantly interrupted, guess what? It goes back to its original parking spot, or even worse, it's in limbo, wiggly and painful. And that back and forth gets you nowhere, just like Austin Powers. If you're half-hearted with Invisalign, or you just think wearing them at bedtime for 8 hours is plenty, you're going to end up with teeth that just sit there, twiddling their enamel thumbs. It's so crucial to wear these 22 hours per day, every day. And here's why. As orthodontic forces move the teeth in a certain direction, they have to clear a path. They start by compressing the bone. The compressed area shows an elevation in osteoclastic activity. And pretty much that means is there are special, what I call Pac-Man cells that waka eat away bone. Why? Because you need the tooth to move forward and the bone is in the way. So the Pac-Man cells are clearing a path. Once that tooth jumps forward in that cleared path, then a different tribe of cells called osteoblasts build new bone to cover in the hole where the tooth was before. So the builders, osteoblasts, are cells responsible for forming new bone. In orthodontics, the balance between these two cell types is essential for the process of tooth movement, as teeth shift in response to forces applied to them, and the bone around them is constantly being remodeled.
Sounds cool.
That sounds very, very cool.
Invisalign is the Bentley of clear aligners out there. They always deliver. But remember, if you only put in 30% effort, it's just not possible to get 100% results. Consistent daily effort will pay off.
Do you mean it?
And I do this for a living. I know when you're not wearing them. Before we go to the next problem, if you're getting value out of this video, tap that like button and leave a comment. I like to comment my favorite Bible verse on videos. You know, always spreading the good word. Why don't you do that too? Problem number 2, chewy overload. We're talking chewies.
Well, you said it, Chewy.
Not that one, but close. If you're doing Invisalign right, wearing them consistently 22 hours a day, you probably don't need these. Why? Because aligners are custom, form-fitting trays that fit snugly in your teeth so they can move your teeth properly. If you don't wear them 22 hours a day, then you will start to see gaps. And these gaps are space between the aligner plastic and the edge of the tooth. And the aligner is no longer hugging the teeth well. So to get back on track, now you have to put in a lot more effort by using the Chewy. They come in a variety of bright colors and different shapes, and my favorite is a square shape because they can get in those corners. So when you chew down, you want to bite, hold, and then let go. So you don't want to use a Chewy like a stress ball, and you don't want to go all the way around like that doesn't help. If anything, that is worse. What you want to do is keep your effort focused on that little spot where you see the gap, and that's it. So remember, bite, hold, let go. But here's the real deal. If you're actually wearing these aligners for the recommended 22 hours a day, your need for chewies is non-existent. Problem number 1, those weird attachments. Invisalign is supposed to be invisible, right?
That's right.
Well, not exactly.
Wait, what?
Unlike braces, you don't have a mouthful full of metal. But Invisalign can use attachments, which are tiny tooth-colored bumps. They can feel a little weird, and if you were hoping for completely invisible treatment, they might not be what you expected. Can you see that? These attachments may seem like a big con for Invisalign, but they are probably the coolest breakthrough in orthodontic history. Check out this basketball. If I was to move it, I don't have so much control or much of a lever to get it where it needs to go. But if I was able to glue a handle on this basketball, then I could totally move it exactly where I need it to go. This is a problem the masterminds behind Invisalign wanted to solve. So in 1997, Invisalign was born after it was conceived in a dorm room at Stanford. In the beginning, the aligner plastic did only basic movements. Then, in 2009, Invisalign came up with Smart Force attachments. Genius! Specially shaped attachments for specific movements such as rotation, pulling down, pushing up, all kind of movements. These attachments have a different form on each tooth according to its size, its shape, and its position in the mouth. But that created another problem.
Oh no, just oh no.
If the attachments are fancier with more edges and weird shapes, how would the plastic wrap around it and grab it without breaking?
You tell me.
So in 2013, Invisalign came up with something called Smart Track material. This is a sandwich of two materials. On the outside, you got the highly elastic polyurethane elastomer, and this does not crack or compress. And on the inside, you have a hard material called a copolyester, and this pushes and pulls the teeth. So now you have this power combination of the ideal attachment for a certain movement on a specific tooth, and the material wraps around everything snugly to ensure you have ideal movement. Amazing! Woo! Yeah! These little bumps are a game changer in making Invisalign more effective than ever. Without them, certain tooth movements just wouldn't be possible. And thousands of people wouldn't qualify for clear aligners, and they'd be stuck with metal braces if they needed to correct that smile.
You don't want that.
But you know what? Almost everyone I've asked had no clue that you can use Invisalign for kids. In fact, it's just as big of a game changer. If you came in between the ages of 6 to 9, we would use Invisalign to correct most dental issues. The most important thing to know is that correcting dental problems in this crucial window is very important. Why? Remember what I shared in problem number 3. You know how the bone is being removed and regrown? Well, during this age, their jawbone is still primarily spongy, also called cancellous bone. And it's much easier to move the jaw and the teeth. What would normally take years for an adult can be done in a few months with Invisalign. I actually made a free guide that compares braces versus Invisalign for kids, and you can snag that in the description below. So yes, Invisalign has its quirks, but when you stack it up against braces, it's still the clear winner in my humble opinion. Fewer emergencies, no pokey wires, and way less pain. I'll take a few chewies and some attachments over braces any day.
Me too.
So let me know in the comments what's been your biggest Invisalign challenge. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. I answer every comment, even the mean ones. Before you run, I want to give you a little encouragement. If God is first in your life, everything falls into perfect order. Think of it like this. If you don't put Him first, why should He put you first? If you have a problem, ask Him for a solution. If you're celebrated, thank Him. Don't allow God to be second in your life.